Okay, so I have had the best harvest I've ever had with all types of tomatoes. And I've given away several bags full of different types. There's, these cherry tomatoes. They are so good. You pop them in your mouth and you eat them. And then we had these yellow pear tomatoes. So what am I doing? Well, I'm cutting them up, putting them on the tray to dry tomatoes. Now everybody calls them sun-dried, but I kept saying no. If I put them out in the sun, I'd have to keep them covered with mosquito netting or something like that in order to keep the bugs away. So kind of looked online, just looking up sun-dried tomatoes, because I have some in the cupboard that I had purchased when they were on sale, and I said, well, what can I do with them? And in the meantime, I wound up finding a recipe, the directions to dry my tomatoes. And so I have a dehydrator, a regular dehydrator, which you've seen in previous ones when I was drying celery and basil last summer. But I'm going to use my Power XL air fryer oven because, many of you have air fryers, and so it's an idea that you can use for your air fryers. Now, the recipe or the directions that I got were to do them in the oven. And my oven actually has a dehydrate setting. The directions say for do it in the oven, you want to put them on parchment paper on a cookie sheet, cookie pan, and put the oven at 200 degrees. And the woman basically said, it may take several hours, but you don't want them to dry out completely, right? You don't want, one woman said she put them in there so long and they were like paper. So you don't want that. And I may try a few of these, not slicing them, but got room for, we need some airspace in between these. So we're just going to do that many. I've got, whoops, excuse me. So I've got 3 racks. So this is what I've done. And it recommended, that you might want to put some spices on it, some salt or some pepper. I'm going to take this row. I've got some garlic salt. So I'm going to sprinkle some garlic. Yeah, some of this garlic salt's going to go on the wood. But this row is going to have some garlic salt. And as they said, as it dries up, the flavor is going to get intense. So I'm going to put this in the air fryer. Pull out another one. And I'm going to cut up a bunch more. Now, I've dried peppers, I've dried the celery, I've dried, that one's really small. Let's leave that one whole, see what happens. I've dried, what did I say, pepper and celery, collard greens, turnip greens, mushrooms. When I get the mushrooms from the store and they're on sale, I get those. Now, I washed these tomatoes when I first came in, but I wanted to rinse them off again because they've been sitting in my basket. So I wanted to make sure and test. But I know that I gave a friend of mine a bunch of all the different sizes, the cherry tomatoes, the the yellow pear, the yellow cherry tomatoes, the bunch of grapes, that's what they are. I got to save some of those seeds because I ran it. The seed packet I have, I used up all the bunch of grapes. And most of them didn't germinate because that seed packet was older, so I'm going to save a bunch of those seeds for the bunch of grapes because they're really cool. And they come out, and they'll come out on a thing like this, and you can just rinse them off, pop them in your mouth, like a bunch, like a grape. But they're good. I don't have grape tomatoes. I've not grown regular red grape tomatoes. But, you know, these yellow pears are delicious. I've been growing them for the last 3 years. But this is the first year I've really gotten really nice sized cherry tomatoes. These are just perfect. You know, you slice them for your salads. Awesome. Well, I'm going to go away and I'm going to finish doing this batch that I've just sliced up, which are mostly the smaller ones. Right, this is another bunch of grapes. I am going to do another red one. I'm going to put Italian seasoning on them, and I've got hickory smoked salt. Right, I bought it at Tuesday morning, you know, when you're finding things. And I had bought some smoked salt at Winco in the bulk section, but they haven't had it in forever, and I found this hickory smoked salt, and so I'm using it. I think these little ones are going to need to be split anyway. But I was trying to figure out what was I going to do with all of these tomatoes, right? And there's still more out on the vine, lots more. And this is just the first half of the season. We're getting into the hot weather where it's 90, and this is the Italian seasoning, where it's 90 degrees or 100 degrees. And so the tomatoes don't set flowers. So they stop, but all the tomato flowers and the plants that were on there are still setting plants. So I still got a ton of tomatoes. I've got tomatoes in my window. I have getting a lot of juice from the tomatoes here. I've got tomatoes, more tomatoes in my basket along with peppers. But that's an idea. I might do some tomatoes with peppers, but I'll do that next time. This time I'm just working on these tomatoes that if I don't get them done soon, they're going to go bad on me. And yesterday I made cucumber, tomato, onion, what else I put in here? Some of my peppers. And these are the mini peppers you get at the store that are expensive. The first year I just took some of the seeds from those mini peppers and I planted them. I did buy some seeds from Park Seeds for the mini peppers, but now I just I save my seeds. If I have like one of these has been really big. Let's see if I got one in here. Nah, that's not so big, and it's still ripening, right? But these, I'm making sure that here's one. This one's nice and nice side. So I've taken the seeds from one of those, and I mean, you get lots of seeds. So it's like, you know, take the seed from one tomato or one pepper, and it is more than enough for me to grow the plant next year. It's like this yellow pear. Well, I got that yellow pear, but then I've got smaller yellow pears. But this is a big one, but I had an even larger one, so I took the seeds from it. You take the seeds from your best tomato or your plant, your pepper, your cucumber, whatever it is that you feel is the best specimen of the season, and you save those seeds and you dry them out and store them and get ready for next season. And hopefully, if it's not a hybrid, these have turned out not to be hybrids, you will get even better plants. And this year, I don't know where I had the seeds. I had some seeds, and I think I planted some beefsteak seeds, because I've got some really large tomatoes this time that are growing. Now they take longer to go ripe. That's why the little cherry tomatoes are so fantastic, because they don't take long. Alright, I am trying to decide what I'm going to put on these. I think I'm just going to put some garlic, salt, and maybe some Italian seasoning on these. But this is it. I'm going to go on back and do this, and then we're going to turn on the dehydrator. We're going to put these on for vegetables. Even with my regular dehydrator, vegetables have always been at approximately 125 degrees. So it's 200 degrees in your oven, but I'm going to slowly do these. I'm going to start them out at the 125, and if they're not doing very well, I'll up it to about 150. Because I don't want to cook them, I want to dry them. Alright, I will be back after we finish drying them. Let me give you a picture of what the oven looks like right now. Not much light over there, but this is what it's looking like at the moment. So I've got 2 rows of the, let's see, the door is open, so it's not going to do anything. But I turn the light on, you can see the 2 rows. And I'll put the 3rd row on top, and then we will set it on, where is it? There's a dehydrate button right here. And then I'm going to set it for the certain amount of time. Let's turn that off. Set it for a certain amount of time. Okay, so I'm going to set it for 4 hours initially. Check it at about 3 to see where they are. Yeah, when you hit the button to start it, it will get some more red ones in here. Alright, I'll see you when they're done. Alright, so the tomatoes have been going for about 8 hours. And I put them on for a little longer, and I'm going to turn them off. Temperature, I took it up to 125 degrees. I wasn't thinking, but I moved, as they were drying out, I moved some of the tomatoes from one rack to the other, so now they're all mixed up and I don't know which one is which, as far as the ones that I just put the garlic on, or the garlic and the Italian seasoning, or the one that had the Italian seasoning and the smoked salt. But they are not super dry. The skins are still soft. So I decided, okay, I could do a couple of things. So I'm going to take this batch, I've got so many tomatoes that I'll probably be doing another. And I'm going to take one of these small ones and taste it. Okay. This one has the salt on it. Taste there's a garlic salt on it. And it's good. So one of the things, due to the level of salt that I'm hearing, and yes, I've washed my hands. I just finished making soap, so you'll be seeing the soap videos. Wash my hands because I had to wash the pots and things. Now this one I can tell, this one's got, looks like the Italian seasoning on it. This side is a little different. Still a little salty, but I decided to mix them all together. I have the salt, the garlic salt, the Italian seasoning, all of it will be mixed up with these dried tomatoes. So what am I doing? I'm taking all these tomatoes. The skins, as I said, are still kind of pliable, and that was one of the things I learned as I was looking for the recipe to do this. They said you don't want the skins to get totally dry. And so I'm not. Now, I'll clean that out in a little bit. So in the refrigerator, and if you've seen any of my other cooking videos, in the refrigerator I buy pre-skinned, peeled garlic. And then I put it in a jar and I cover it with olive oil. So this is garlic infused olive oil. Now, it is really strong. So I'm not going to put a lot. That's enough because it is really strong with the garlic. And then, let me go in the cupboard. And I am getting my extra virgin olive oil. Bertolli. And so, some folks, well, you're putting way too much olive oil in there, you know? If I add more tomatoes, you do that. Let me stir this up. So the flavors from all those tomatoes that I did. So when you buy sun-dried tomatoes, and I don't know, do they really dry them out in the sun? Anyway, from what I see, the birds get to my tomatoes when they're ripe, and I don't want that. Okay, so now I've got those. I'm going to put my lid on. And this is going in the refrigerator right next to that. And so now I can, for the next couple weeks, I can take these and add these to stews or make a sauce, or, you know, there's a way to make a bruschetta with this and all of that. But I'm sure the infusion of the garlic and the olive oil is going to be in here, and then this olive oil is going to get infused with the flavors from the tomatoes. I think it's going to be a really cool thing. We will see. Give me a thumbs up if you like this. That allows Google to find out that this is worth watching, this particular video. And if you're a subscriber, thank you for being here. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, hit the bell, and share. Maybe somebody you know would like the tip about buying pre-peeled garlic and putting olive oil on it and having infused olive oil without having to put it in a frying pan and saute it and do all that. You got it. And I'm going to add some more after off camera. I'm going to add some of that extra virgin olive oil to the garlic and refill it up. I keep it filled. So over time, the garlicky gets a little thinner, and over time I take garlic cloves out and so on. Anyway, as you have believed, let it be done to you, and it is so, and I will see you in the next video.